Prime Focus is one of the leading players in VFX, DI and of course 3D conversions. ये वही जगह है जहाँ पर सलमान खान की फिल्म रेस 3 को इतना visually enhance किया गया. So let's go and check out what exactly went into making Race 3 a visual spectacle like no other.
On your marks, get set, ready, go!
Salman Khan's Race 3 was a visual overload. Here's a man I'm going to talk to who captured all the spectacle through his lens. Right alongside me, none other than the DOP himself, Ayanka Bose. Thanks a lot for joining us.
My pleasure.
Visual overload, sensory overload, what was it? What was Race 3? How do you define it?
Race 3, I don't know how to define it, but I can tell you this much, that we had just started filming after Tiger. And Tiger had set quite a high benchmark with its visuals.
True.
So, like any other film, like any other person who's from the film line, when you walk onto a film, you always think, he's already done this, how do you do it better?
Right.
And I'm sure that that is exactly what was going on with Remo sir as well. So that is where certain images of the film were predefined, that how do we break the barrier of Tiger. So maybe visual overload or an optical overload, like you were saying, is the right way to say it, which was solely intended to make a visual feast so people can come back into the theatres.
What has worked for Race 3, visually speaking?
Race 3 visually, at least see, when we were starting off, and Salman has amazing entries. Salman has been in this film for last 25 years. Every film he has an entry. There's an amazing entry. Very soon you run out of options. How do you bring Mr. Khan into the picture? You run out of options eventually.
So have you surpassed the expectations that you had in your mind?
In my head, I didn't know how it's going to happen, but Remo sir was very clear.
Right.
He said, he's done every kind of entry, I'm going to bring him from the air. Because he had done some extensive research into squirrel suits and all that, and that's how Mr. Khan's entry was planned, from a squirrel suit standing on top of a helipad. It was in the script. He stands on, at that point of time we didn't know whether we are shooting in Abu Dhabi, we are shooting in Dubai. So he just wrote, standing on top of the helipad of Burj Khalifa, he jumps off. And you reveal he's in a squirrel suit.
What the process is like for the DOP? For example, if there is an action sequence happening, then does the DOP need to be equally excited about it? Does the adrenaline rush has to match up to the mood on the sets as well as those of the stars involved?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. See, if your heart is there, the rest will follow. Cameraman is nothing. He is just an extension of the director's thought process. So if I have zoned into the director's thought process,
right,
I will automatically be able to execute correctly what he's looking at. So I've been lucky. I've always been able to zone into all my directors, you know. And in this place, you also have to go hand in hand with the action master, because eventually he's the one who's calling all the shots. He understands from the director, so he's also on the same page. And then the micromanagement of it is done by the action director. Me and the action director have to then make sure that we are doing a well orchestrated opera.
Right.
It's a well orchestrated opera because of the various number of people who are there.
What was it like working with Salman Khan, the superstar? I mean, how does it work? If you personally are not happy with a particular scene, do people have the audacity to walk up to him and say, this could have been done better?
I think he's the way your question only is, let me tell you, I think he's a very misrepresented person. The best thing, you ask any crew member of Race, will be that the experience of working with Salman Khan is what makes you always want to work with him. He is not the so-called superstar when he is on set. We all respect him for his persona, but he is the most amazing person on set. He is single-handedly responsible for having fun on set.
Really? I mean, what happens to that Salman Khan swag?
He's got the swag.
Okay.
He's got the swag, he's got the attitude, he's got the personality. But he pulls together a set. Like he will say, come, let's have lunch in my tent. He'll say, Arey, let's play some games, let me go cycling. He breaks it down. He is not this star who is difficult to approach.
Yeah. So what is your final verdict on Race 3 as an audience as well as a DOP?
See, I always, after a film is done, genuinely, it's your own baby. So you learn to disconnect from it and move on. Because if you start going by what people say, I may not have done the best work, but people will say, "Kya kaam kiya hai?" If I start listening to that, I might lose my own perspective.
So we are not going to discuss how Salman Khan's films generated divided opinions. Salman Khan's films, of course, I'm talking about Race 3. But we have got an exclusive access to the footage of Race 3 और उसको कैसे enhance किया गया visually. And there is an expert who is going to show us कि इस visuals को कैसे enhance किया, उस पर कैसे काम हुआ ताकि film at least visually इतनी बढ़िया दिखे. So let's go in and see what work went into making Race 3.
With me here is Ashirwad.
Hi.
For a change, I've taken over work from Prathamesh.
Hello. And you're doing fab job at it.
But it just goes to show how filmmaking can be a fun process. To be honest, this is what it is. Ashirwad is one of the best colorists that I have ever come across, and he's there.
Thank you.
And to be trying to explain what we do here, basically we shoot on one camera, right, Prathamesh? But we have to show it on 100 screens. So basically 100 copies have to be made. That is what basically this whole process is.
We are talking about Race 3.
Yeah.
तो जो inputs होते हैं, for example the texture or the feel, ये सब DOP से आता है, director से आता है, या you apply your own logic and brains? How does it work?
It's a combination. Yeah, it's a combination. So now this is a purely action film shot in mostly in deserts, and all the actions and all mostly are in deserts and all. So this film required certain heat field according to what his brief. His brief is this film should look hot. Right. The heat should come out from the visuals, the look.
That should be the texture.
Yeah, the texture, the look. That is why this film has a warm look.
To be very honest with you, we shoot a scene this will be probably 45 seconds or 1 minute on screen.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But we've actually shot it over one whole day.
For 45 seconds?
Yes, for 45 seconds or 1 minute, whatever the sequence.
Yeah, sequence timing is.
This over one day, sometimes 2 days.
Right.
Now I am in a desert where the sun is constantly traveling.
Right.
And therefore, one of my problems is to make sure that it doesn't look like it was shot over one day. There is where a lot of help comes in from Ashirwad. I might be shooting. Now this scene we've removed only because by the time I took the close-ups of Anil sir, it was evening and the sun had set. But when you see the film, nobody will know that the sun had set.
Ashirwad, can you give us few more examples where we can clearly see distinction between after and before in that way maybe? Perhaps a shot or visual or sequence, whatever you want to.
We can show you in this image because in this we worked,
So for
grad is there.
example,
Yeah.
now, like I said, we shoot through the day, right?
Yes.
Now, by the time, there are days when I cannot control the weather.
Right.
Now, the day I went to shoot here,
Right.
I don't think we had good weather. The sun had set, it was an overcast day. Overcast day itself, by nature, gives you a very gloomy. It's raining now in Bombay. So it's very gloomy, it's very grey.
Grey.
And here we are having set a palette which is warm and yellow.
Correct.
So here I have a grey day, but I will not stop shooting. I cannot come back to this place. Our schedules are such that this factory this is present. See,
Yes.
there is a golden tone, there's a brown, the blacks are richer.
Yes.
You know, and here see, the blacks are not so rich.
That
The
would
golden
look more
tone has gone.
contemporary.
Yeah, there is more red in the blacks. It's looking fika.
Ashirwad, how long does it take for a movie to get completed in terms of whatever changes?
It depends. The movie like Race 3 will take 3 to 4 weeks minimum because
4 weeks.
minimum because this film has a lot of cuts, lot of VFX, lot of this film is very vast in terms of because it's action film. So action film takes 3 to 4 weeks, but if the film is drama or comedy, it will take 2 weeks. This film is very vast in terms of because it's action film. So action film takes 3 to 4 weeks, but if the film is drama or comedy, it will take 2 weeks.
So now we understood that while the superstars may dance their way into our collective hearts, that of the audiences, of course, there are real superstars who work behind the cameras and work so diligently to make every project look so rich and so visually appealing. And for that reason alone, thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
While the opinions may be divided on the success of Race 3, but one fact is absolutely certain is that visually it's absolutely stunning. And joining me now is someone who made all those visuals look so enriching and so spectacular. Thanks a lot for joining me, Vishal.
Thank you so much.
So
Pleasure.
what exactly went into making those visuals so appealing?
See, when Prime Focus got involved in the film, VFX was only about action, only about some set extensions and all that. But as and when we got more involved into the film, VFX was becoming very important for the film. There were action sequences, there were blasts that had to be done. Some were practical, some were full CGI. So a lot went into it. We had about 1500 shots that we had to do, more than that I guess, and the time was always limited.
Given the fact that it's a race franchise and the third installment of that,
Yeah.
and given the fact that Salman Khan will be a part of it, also considering that it will be an ensemble cast and the genre of the film, did you know that what was coming your way? Too much work? Too many explosions?
Being an action-oriented film, this was always going to happen.
Right.
Enhancing the blasts, plus having CGI blast matching up to the same amount of blast that they were doing practically was the biggest challenge. There were certain shots which required full CGI blast, plus we always had this reference of the kind of explosions they were doing on set. So our benchmark was pretty high.
Can we quickly go to your bay and check out what exactly happens there? I mean,
Yes.
how you transform all those visuals in the scenes to make them look so spectacular. So Vishal is going to show us now how exactly certain visuals get completely transformed, whether Salman Khan is skidding his bike, whether he's traveling by helicopter or exploding, all those 1,000 different cars in film Race 3. So Vishal,
Yes.
show us how did you transform all those images magically?
Alright, so here we have one sequence where this is one of the bridges in Abu Dhabi. This is a part of a chase sequence where Mr. Anil Kapoor is under attack. He's being chased, and this being Abu Dhabi, we couldn't have control over the traffic. So what we decided, we'll add more cars in post. He's supposed to be traveling in this car, and that's the amount of traffic that we had. So this is late. So we added more cars to make it look like it's a busy street, doing this stunt, and it's done by him. Play. So in this sequence, he's being chased,
Right.
and there's a shot where they, hit a bazooka on the tree, and it's about to fall. And Salman, while escaping from them, is performing this stunt all by himself.
Right.
There's this sequence where we had to add a CG drone. Yeah, that's the raw footage that we had.
Yeah.
So we had to paint it out, and then we had to put a CG drone coming in.
Okay. That's the drone.
Yeah, and that's a CGI built briefcase, and it's supposed to take it away. This is one of the most important sequences that they had in mind. This is Salman supposed to be driving the Bugatti Veyron, and if you go back in time, there was Race 2 which had come out, and there was a Lamborghini which was supposed to be blasted, and people immediately caught it to be a dummy.
Okay.
So in this, we had a very, we were under tremendous pressure on this one, that the Bugatti that we are using should not look like a dummy, and it has to seem like people, when they see the film, they should feel that a real Bugatti has been blasted, and not a...
Thank you so much, Vishal.
Yeah.
I mean, giving us access to this,
You're most
and the
welcome.
hard work that has gone and by your team, and so much sweat and blood and so much attention in this dark space. So many hours you invest to give us a product as fine as Race 3. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.